Hi everyone, it's John from What Up, and welcome back to another video. Now, over the past couple of days, there's been a ton of Wheel of Time stuff coming out. Everything from articles to pictures to teasers, you name it, we've had it, all leading up to the November 19th release. And today was no different. Amazon released a ton of images on their press website. Now, the Wheel of Time wiki found them, added them to their wiki, and then kind of announced it to the world on Twitter. And from there, everyone went looking for them, and there they are on the press website. So, what I'm going to do in tonight's video is I'm going to go through a lot of these images, not all of them, but anything that's different or interesting I'm going to cover. Some of them seem to be either doubles or very close to other images we had or close to other imagery we've seen, so I'm not going to cover those. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know what I do here, I cover Wheel of Time news. So everything and anything to do with a Sony and Amazon production that's currently filming Season 2, that's what I do here. So if you like that sort of thing, click the subscribe button and the notification bell because I'm going to be putting out a ton of content over the next couple of weeks till the release on November 19th. And then when the show comes out, I'm going to do a ton of content per episode as well. You're not going to want to miss anything. Now, before we get into the video, spoiler warning, in this video we're covering images that Sony and Amazon released today about the Wheel of Time series. So if you haven't read at least book 1 of the Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, that's The Eye of the World, or if you don't want anything from any of the episodes spoiled, be forewarned, I'm going to ruin minor plot points and character arcs from the book and from the first season. Alright, all of that being said, let's get on to the video. Alright, so we're going to go through some of these images. Now, I will warn you, I didn't pick every single image from the press website because some of them were very similar to stuff we've seen a bunch of times before, or they were from the same scenes. So I tried to go through and pick out things that were new and that were fresh, and they give us an idea of what's going on in the first 3 episodes, because these images do cover the first 3 episodes. So I'll let you know when they change episodes, when we're going to go into episode 2, when we're going into episode 3, that sort of thing, because, I mean, it does give us a general idea of the plot the first couple episodes. Now, this first image showcases Leandrin and a few red Ajas, so we know right off the bat this is in episode 1, so we're probably seeing Logain right away, because I'm going to guess that's who they're hunting, or maybe they're hunting some unknown male channeler, just to showcase how dangerous the male channelers are, and what the red Aja does right off the hop. That way, if the Dragon Reborn happens to be one of the 3 boys, which we basically know it is, but the show viewers may not, who haven't read the books before, they'll worry a little bit more for them. But a beautiful shot of her, and I want to point this out just for a few of the naysayers that when the original images first come out, our first look, everyone was like, oh, everything's too clean and too nice. She's got dirt on her skirt there, just so you're aware. Alright, this next shot, this is in episode 1. This is Fane, Pedant Fane on the left there, and Matt Cawthon. Now, this is his wagon. It looks like some herbs, some, like, basic jewelry, some little potion bottles and stuff of maybe spices, I don't know, whatever he has in there. Really cool stuff though. Some bolts of cloth. But what does Matt have in his hands? Those look exactly like the lanterns we've seen plastered all over Emond's Field during Beltane celebrations. So I'm going to guess that that has something very, very important to do with their celebrations and what they're doing. And the fact that if Fane's coming to town, he's probably selling a bunch of these lanterns to people. And from the smug smile on his face, he looks like he just swindled Matt Cawthon. So I really like this image. I like this a lot. Just the detail in that wagon alone just strikes me as being absolutely amazing. Now, this next one here, this looks to be from the Trolloc attack on Winter Night in Emond's Field, and you have Nynaeve and Egwene kind of hiding behind some baskets and stuff. This is probably just before they attack the Trolloc, because that was seen in a couple of the teaser trailers, but I'm going to guess that this was during that attack. This here, this is Egwene getting her hair braided. I had to include this. I mean, it's pretty iconic. It's a big deal for Emond's Fielders to have their hair braided. It means they're a woman and they've reached adulthood. But really, really nice shot. Just a pretty shot. Although, and every time I look at Nynaeve's braid, I'm just like, that's absolutely immaculate. I love that thing. All right, here we have, and this I mentioned in my last teaser video, a shot of Perrin in front of his forge in his leather apron, and just look at the imagery behind him from down below with the big mountains in the background, the mountains of mist. I love this shot, and it really showcases how big Perrin is, how strong he is. A lot of people had mentioned over the last couple of years, they didn't think he was as big and burly as he was in the books. I mean, you could probably fit 6 of me on his shoulders and walk around just easily. No problem at all. But a really nice shot of Perrin. Then we have this. This is the start of episode 2. So all of those other shots were from episode 1. This is the start of the shots from episode 2. Now this is Abdul Salas, and he is playing Eamon Valda, and just an absolute evil, man. I think the White Cloaks are going to be super leveled up in this. This is the scene where he's burning the Yellow Sister at the stake. I really just like the look in his face, and he's having dinner. He's just enjoying watching one of the witches burn while he's eating. Absolutely horrifying, but I can't wait to see it. Then we have this shot here. We have Geoff from Bornhold to the left there, and then we have Eamon Valda. Now, a lot of people didn't like their armor, didn't like their cloaks and things like that. They don't think it matches their headcanon or the way it should be portrayed. I think they went like this for a bunch of different reasons, but mainly, I'm not even going to try to justify why they went like this. I like it. I mean, I may be in the minority here. A lot of the fandom really doesn't like the way the White Cloaks look. However, I think it's just absolutely striking. I still have no idea what the feathers are for. I hope that's explained. But Eamon Valda has an entire just handful of Aes Sedai rings there. So this is where I'm saying I think the White Cloaks are going to be leveled up just a bit, because we heard about them killing Aes Sedai in the books. They talked about it. They say it happened, but it wasn't. They never really felt like a threat to me when I read the books. This, seeing these images and seeing the little teasers we've seen of them, I think they're going to be a big threat. I think they're going to be an absolutely fanatical group, and it's going to be just horrifying to see on screen. And I think they'll be, instead of just sort of a tertiary bad guys off in the corner, they're going to be much more central to the plot, is my guess anyway. We have this shot here. This looks like they've left the Two Rivers. They're on their way to wherever it is they're going, probably either Terran Ferry or past Terran Ferry. But it's a really nice shot of all of them on a mountaintop taking a look over there. And we've seen other shots of this from behind them before. And I think I mentioned one of them where I called Rand Lord of the Morning. I thought it was kind of funny. But I liked this shot just because, I mean, the cinematography, I think, is going to be absolutely amazing in the show, because I'm a big fan of nature shots and big scenery shots anyway. And they really nailed them as far as I'm concerned with this. We have this. This is Barney Harris's mat. This is, again, still in episode 2. I believe, if you take a look in the background just to his left there, some of those little wheel type things, it looks like Shader Logoth. I believe this is him probably there. This is probably when they first enter the city and they're all resting before he goes off on his own to get the dagger. Then we have this here. This is Egwene, and we have Moraine. This, again, I think might be prior to Shader Logoth, just because we know that Egwene and Perrin split off from them, at least from all the leaks we've seen. I think this might be her tracking some Shadow Spawn, or perhaps the White Cloaks themselves. I have an inkling that we may see them run into the White Cloaks prior to Shader Logoth, so I think that's what this might be. This one here, this is definitely Terran Ferry for sure, because we've seen shots of this from Brandon Sanderson's newsletter, and this is probably where Moraine sinks the ferry. Now, that was basically gleaned from some metadata from a photo inside his newsletter. Really cool to see at the time. I think maybe kind of on purpose, but I think that's what's happening here, and I think this is when they're going to cross the Terran, or they've already crossed the Terran and they're watching the ferry sink. Again, looks like the same shot. Basically the same background. You see Matt there back to the left, but I think that's also from Terran Ferry. This one here, I think this is the same shot as when they were on the mountaintop 2 or 3 pictures ago. Really nice picture of Moraine here. Now, something I want to mention is that they're not doing the agelessness for the Aes Sedai. They've mentioned that a couple of times. They're not going to CGI the faces up. However, I have noticed almost every picture of Aes Sedai we've seen so far, their makeup seems to be pretty on point, even in when they're traveling and stuff. So maybe that's a way of making them look a little bit different than every other woman they come across, because a lot of the women, especially in the village, didn't seem to really have, so to speak, makeup on. And this is makeup that doesn't really look like makeup, if that makes any sense. They may be doing that instead, because I'm getting sort of ageless vibes there, even though they said they're not doing ageless faces. So that's my take on that anyway. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. If you're just finding out about this right now, they're not doing ageless faces. Rafe has mentioned that, the showrunner. They're not going to, just like the fan cloth water cloaks, they're not going to do that. Too big of a money sink for too small of a gain. And let's face it, if they had to CGI every face of every Aes Sedai in the entire series, that'd be a lot of money. And it probably wouldn't look natural either. I don't know how they do that. All right, this one, again, still in episode 2. This is Perrin. It looks like meeting the wolves for the first time. I really can't wait to see this. We've already seen a shot of him with his golden eyes in the last teaser trailer, but this is where he's meeting the wolves, and We've seen this picture of the wolves a couple of times, but with Perrin out of the shot. So it's really interesting to actually see him in the shot this time. We have Rand and Mat here. Again, I want to show this because they don't look very happy. And again, they look travel-worn and dirty and dusty, something that a lot of people have complained about. This is probably after the Terran, before Shadar Logoth. Again, the images aren't in order in how they're going to appear in the show, just in order by episode. So I'm not quite sure where this fits in. This could be after they leave Shadar Logoth on their own and are taking off towards one of the towns or villages outside. But I don't know if they'll have their horses or not. So I'm not sure if that's going to work in there before or after. Let me know in the comments down below what you folks think. Then we have this shot here. This is all of them together. Again, I think this is probably prior to Shadar Logoth because they're all together. They're not actually separated yet. And this is probably on the road either on the way to the Terran or just after the Terran. This shot is coming from episode 3. So this and the next couple of shots we're going to see are from episode 3. This shows Lan in the forest. This is after Shadar Logoth for sure, because we know they enter Shadar Logoth at least near the end of episode 2, if not near the beginning, and they don't break up or escape from Shadar Logoth until sometime within episode 2. So this is probably where he's with Moiraine alone, and Nynaeve meets up with them. But I'm going to guess this is probably near the very first of episode 3. I just want to showcase this one because that's a really nice shot of Mandarb. Beautiful horse, and a lot of people have mentioned that Lan doesn't seem to be wearing armor or anything. I see bracers there. He's probably wearing some light armor under those clothes. I think he looks really cool, personally, although some people have expressed concern about his costume. I like it, though. I think it's very, very cool looking. We have this one here. This one is definitely also from episode 3, and we have Perrin and Egwene, and they have their knives out, and they're looking at someone in the future, ahead of them. Now, in the background, you take a look at these people. They're tinkers. You see their dogs. In the books, they're big mastiffs. These just look like big dogs. And the tinkers aren't really dressed as they're described in the books, super bright colors or anything like that. However, a lot of them seem to be wearing a multitude of colors. My guess here is, who are they meeting on the road where they have their knives out and the tinkers are behind them holding the dogs? Maybe, just maybe, this is where they see the White Cloaks. Maybe they don't travel to the setting. We've had no hints of Elias whatsoever in any of the leaks, anywhere at all. And in fact, we've had some evidence that he appears in Season 2 because the costume designer for Season 2 seemed to be working on his look. So I don't think we're seeing Elias in Season 1 at all. I think here, this is probably where they meet the White Cloaks with the Tinkers. Because remember, we haven't seen that shot with the Tinkers, with the White Cloaks surrounding Perrin and Egwene with a ram, maybe not dead, but definitely unconscious down in the lower left-hand corner. So when the White Cloaks meet them, they are with the Tinkers. Then we have this shot here with the Tinkers. Again, there is a lot of colors here. They're just not as bright as you would expect. I think a lot of people expect them to be wearing very, very vibrant, bright colors, but these people are traveling. They travel all the time, and a lot of their stuff is homespun. It is a lot of different colors, all kind of crowded together. I get a real Romani vibe from them. I like it. Now we see, I believe, to the person on the right, and again, correct me in the comments down below if I'm wrong in this, but I think the person on the right is Daryl McCormick. That's a ram. And I think we have Rain and Illa over to the left of Perrin and Egwene there. And in the background, of course, we have the other Tinkers, and those are their wagons, the covered wagons they use. We have this. This is Tom Maryland. So this is after Shadar Logoth. We have Rand and Mat together on the road. And I think this is in Breen Spring. So this is the village that was showcased in the Explore map on the Amazon page. And why would they show Breen Spring unless we're going to see it in the show? I think Breen Spring is going to take the place of Four Kings and every other random village along the road. Now, this is where we meet Tom for the first time. We know that because essentially Tom was only there for a short period of time. He wasn't available for the beginning of filming. He was there for episode 3 and 4. We know that for sure. So that's Alexander William. So he doesn't meet them in Emlyn's Field. He doesn't travel with them. This is where he meets Rand and Mat on their own. And we get a nice brooding shot of him here with his guitar. We know his guitar is replacing the lute and the harp that he has. I like it. I think it's a good idea to modernize it just a bit. I know a lot of people have expressed concern that things have changed. Now, one thing I want to mention here is I don't see his patchwork cloak in this photo with all the little patches on the Gleeman's cloak, nor do I see it here. However, a few people have noticed that in some of the other images we've had from promotional material a while back, There's a little corner of it like it's bundled up next to him, beside him. So he's not wearing it on stage, but it is next to him with his stuff in it. I don't know. I think we're still going to see it. I don't think they'll cut that out because it would make no sense to cut it out, really. It's an iconic feature of this character. So I think we'll probably see it in there. All right, I think they're pretty cool. I like seeing this sort of thing. I'm excited when the show comes out if we get some behind the scenes stuff. So I really want to see how they put all this together. I want to see the costuming. I want to see how they did the shoots, where they were at. I'd like interviews with all of the cast while they're on set during the time. I mean, I don't know if any of you folks have ever watched How the Movies That Made Us are on Netflix. I want something of that style where they're going through and they're basically explaining all the things behind it. Maybe not with the humor. I mean, I do like the humor, but I like the explanation. I'm a big fan of behind the scenes stuff. So I like seeing these photos, even though some of them may be out of context, and I'm kind of having fun just kind of trying to piece things together here. I want to know what you folks think. Am I kind of half right, kind of half wrong? What are your thoughts on how the photos go and how the first 3 episodes are? I mean, there's been a ton of leaks, a ton of spoilers out there already. People have seen, in some cases, up to the first 6 episodes now as screeners. So I want to know what you guys think. Is my rendition of what's going to happen in the first 3 episodes, just based on those photos and other leaks, halfway correct at least anyway? I want to hear your thoughts. Anyway, I want to thank you all very much for sticking with me here to the very end. There's so much more to go through. You're going to see so many more videos over the next couple days, but here's to many more.